talk about Fiona and Cake.
Ah, yes, perfect.
I did not have time to do screenshots, but I'll probably overlay screenshots
Wow,
maybe with our edits.
wow, wow,
I know.
wow.
Okay.
A
Really high
hundo and
scores.
98.
I don't know out of how many people though.
Right,
I don't know who's watching this show other than us.
right. As far as I know, we're the only two, Nick.
It doesn't tell me out of how many. But
Huh.
I have
Well,
to. What are your first thoughts on it?
well, I mean, it's definitely. I feel that it's directed more towards like a 20-something audience rather than like a kids show, right? I
Ah.
think I think that the children that grew up with Adventure Time
Mm-hmm.
are now grown up, and Fiona and Cake is a continuation of that in acknowledging the audience's age.
Mm.
Um, either you start it over again and it's for a new generation of kids, or you kind of follow the trajectory of that generation the show was originally for, right? Because the reason I say that is because Fiona is living in an apartment, right?
Mm.
She's like, oh, I can't figure out my place in the world, like, or like what
Yeah.
what purpose I'm supposed to have, right? Which is, I would argue, is a very common thing for a 20-something to like struggle
Mm.
with, right? Um,
And living alone.
right, exactly.
That we know, right? Yeah, she was
Yes,
definitely living alone.
yeah. In a nondescript city, by the way, we don't know what the city is, right, or the name of it. Um,
Yes.
and
We don't
then
even know if it's real, right? Because this may be
right,
all in the imagination of the
right,
Ice King.
exactly,
What's
exactly.
his real name again?
Simon.
Simon. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
And I mean, and I'd say it's also more adult because of just the subject matter. I mean, the with Simon's struggles right now, like
Yeah.
especially in the second episode, is like they're legit like identity problems that he has, right? After having been the
Mm.
Ice King for so long, he's kind of like struggling to figure out really who he is. Plus his like it seems very real because like his was it wife? I can't remember if it was his wife or his girlfriend, right?
Hmm.
Basically became kind of like his arch nemesis, right? And or like a weird sort of it was a really weird relationship, and then now she's gone or something.
Yeah. It
So
was.
it's
I think it ended with I think she like let the Ice King and Finn go, and she stayed behind or something like that
yeah,
to it. It's a funky story. I don't know how many
no, it
guys went
is.
all the way through Adventure Time, and like the first season's nothing but good time and partying and dancing. Like I don't
Yeah,
even think there's even like backstory or anything. Then season two, I think, is the first time you kind of get like a slight backstory. I think on the Ice King, and
right.
then from there it's just like whoa, like
Yep,
the connections and the celestial gods and the
yep.
links. Is it the links or something like that? There's like this. It's crazy and fun and amazing.
So like, I mean, there's so much like Adventure Time callbacks. Specifically at the
Yeah.
end of the second episode, he what Simon is doing is he is praying to a statue of Golb,
Mm-hmm.
who is the god of chaos at like the center of the universe, basically, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
kind of running the show. And so it sounds like he is making a wish,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
then see, so episode one was mostly about Fiona and Cake
yes,
and
we see their
their
world.
adventures, and then Cake looks like she gets transported
Yep.
into Adventure Time Land, or is
Yep.
that? I don't know the name of the world off the top of my head,
It's called
but
Ooh, the land of Ooh.
ooh, thank you,
Yep.
thank you. And then episode two is Simon
Yes. Yeah.
and Finn. We get adult
Yes.
Finn. Oh my
So
gosh, with a freaking beard.
it was so interesting because we get to see kind of like how the human like the human remnants kind of like now have started to inhabit like the magical world, right, in this floating
Mm-hmm.
city, right, which is really neat. And then Finn, I kind of like that, like at least from what we've seen from this first episode, he's really kind of just stayed like I would say an archetype of himself, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm a hero. I don't have much substance. Like I only know one thing, and that's adventuring, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of like that, right? He never really progressed beyond like his 15, 16-year-old self, right?
And then do we know where Jake the dog is?
We saw him in the previews, but not in this. So
Okay.
we know that Jake's son, one of his children, is like kind of Finn's companion. It looks like, right?
Yes, in the
Um,
bar.
yes, yeah,
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 it was so much fun going back and seeing Finn too, and that was a surprise. I thought that was going to happen later on. I know we got a
right.
tease in the trailer, but gosh, once we saw him and the beard, and they went on like an epic adventure and stuff like that, I was like, that's amazing. And how Finn just kills everything. He eats eyeballs, and he'll
Yeah.
walk around blindfolded. I'm like, dude, this is so much fun. It's so much fun.
Also, you know that the what was the name of the pet doctor that Fiona went to see with
That's
with the purple?
King or Queen Lumpy or something or
That is LSP, Lumpy
yes,
Space Princess.
Lumpy
Um,
Space Princess.
yes.
There you go.
And also
So
that is
they
that
gender
character.
swapped everyone, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
so but LSP and this pet doctor character are voiced by Pendleton Ward, who's the original creator of Adventure Time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that was fun because we got a swap there. There was other characters they swapped too,
Yep.
like the vampire and the musician, right? Like
Hmm.
that was a swap. Like there was a lot of swaps,
Yeah.
and it was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
That's
I'm
also the thing behind Fiona and Cake is that everything's inverted, right?
yes.
So yeah.
Everything is in. I was trying to think of one character. I'm like, no, but every character was because even at the bakery was basically a swap of the Candy Princess.
Right. Yep.
So
Yep.
I was like, dude, this is so much fun to see stuff like that. So this must be in Ice King's imagination too, because at the end of episode 2, we see Cake come out of the back of his head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this all has to be going on in his mind.
So that's fascinating. Like this universe is so
Yeah,
like
and it
I
doesn't
love
make
how
sense,
out
and I
there it
love
is. Yeah. Yeah.
You think you understand it, and it throws a curveball or two at you.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Yeah.
super excited to see what's happening next. We'll probably be covering it here. It's a recent show that's going to be airing, so we're going to be covering that. It's fun. We're big animation fans. We covered Primal. We
Yep.
covered Unicorn Warriors too, which was a lot of fun. So now it's just like going on to this, which is just super exciting. And see here a comment from Nemo Mark.
Ooh,
Watch a few episodes of One Piece.
Okay.
Not a fan of the manga, but it's not bad.
Nick was saying the same thing to me before the show.
So I'm not a fan. I've never read the manga.
I tried reading it.